The Global Reporting Initiative (GRI) standards provide the most widely accepted global framework for sustainability reporting and form a robust foundation for mapping organizational disclosures to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). Understanding the role of GRI within an SDG mapping matrix is essential for translating global development goals into credible, standardized, and impact-oriented corporate disclosures. Hello and welcome again. I am your host Harshit Simha, once again continuing the previous week discussion with a new alignment related to understanding GRI standards for SDG mapping matrix. At the core of the framework are the GRI Universal Standards, GRI 1, Foundation, GRI 2, General Disclosures, and GRI 3, Material Topics. These standards establish reporting principles, organizational context, and an impact-based materiality process. They ensure that SDG alignment is grounded in real economic, environmental, and social impacts rather than broad or symbolic references. Through GRI 3, organizations identify and prioritize material topics, which then serve as the primary entry point for selecting relevant SDGs. The GRI topic standards operationalize SDG mapping across three dimensions. The GRI 200 series, Economic Standards, links disclosures on economic performance, market presence, procurement, anti-corruption, and tax transparency to SDGs on poverty reduction, decent work, reduced inequalities, and strong institutions. The GRI 300 series, Environmental Standards, enables mapping to SDGs on climate action, clean energy, water stewardship, biodiversity, and responsible consumption through metrics on materials, energy, emissions, waste, and ecosystems. The GRI 400 series, Social Standards, supports SDGs related to health, education, gender equality, human rights, and community development by capturing labor practices, human rights due diligence, customer well-being, and social impacts. Within an SDG mapping matrix, GRI disclosures are linked to specific SDG targets, alignment types, direct, indirect, enabling, and performance indicators. This structured approach enhances transparency, comparability, and credibility, helping organizations avoid SDG washing and demonstrate measurable contributions to the 2030 agenda. Ultimately, understanding GRI standards enables organizations to integrate SDGs into strategy, reporting, and decision-making in a coherent and verifiable manner. Let us explore the GRI standards in context to SDG. Slide 2. Cross-cutting GRI Universal Standards. The GRI Universal Standards form the backbone of the Global Reporting Initiative framework and are cross-cutting in nature, meaning they apply to all organizations regardless of sector, size, or geography. Together, GRI 1, GRI 2, and GRI 3 establish the principles, context, and materiality logic required for credible, comparable, and decision-useful sustainability reporting, while enabling alignment with the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). GRI 1, Foundation 2021 sets out the core concepts and reporting principles that underpin all GRI-based disclosures. It establishes requirements for accuracy, balance, clarity, comparability, completeness, sustainability context, timeliness, and verifiability. GRI also explains how organizations should use the GRI standards, define reporting boundaries, apply due diligence, and ensure alignment with internationally recognized instruments such as the UN Guiding Principles on Business and Human Rights. This foundation ensures consistency and integrity across sustainability reports. GRI 2, General Disclosures 2021 provides contextual information about the reporting organization. It covers organizational profile, governance structure, strategy, policies, ethics, integrity, and stakeholder engagement. These disclosures help users understand how sustainability is embedded in governance and operations, thereby supporting transparency, accountability, and trust. GRI2 disclosures are essential for interpreting performance data and assessing how organizations manage sustainability risks and opportunities across SDGs. GRI3 Material Topics 2021 introduces a robust, impact-focused approach to materiality. It requires organizations to identify, prioritize, and manage topics based on their significant impacts on the economy, environment, and people. GRI3 strengthens the link between sustainability reporting and SDG outcomes by ensuring that reported topics reflect real-world impacts rather than generic commitments. Slide 3. GRI 200 Series Economic Standards Overview. The GRI 200 Series, Economic Standards provides a structured framework for reporting an organization's economic impacts, governance practices, and integrity-related performance. These standards enable organizations to demonstrate how their activities contribute to inclusive economic growth, market stability, and ethical business conduct, while supporting several Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, particularly those related to poverty reduction, decent work, reduced inequalities, and strong institutions. Direct Economic Impact Standards. The Direct Economic Impact Standards focus on how organizations generate and distribute economic value and influence economic systems at local, national, and global levels. GRI 201 Economic performance requires disclosure of direct economic value generated and distributed, financial implications of climate change, and defined benefit obligations, highlighting contributions to SDGs such as poverty reduction and economic resilience. GRI 202 Market presence addresses wage levels and hiring practices, emphasizing fair remuneration and local employment. GRI 203 Indirect economic impacts captures wider economic effects such as infrastructure development and community investment, while GRI 204 Procurement practices focuses on local sourcing and supplier spending, reinforcing inclusive growth and value chain development. Governance and Integrity Standards. The Governance and Integrity Standards address ethical conduct, transparency, and compliance, critical enablers of sustainable economic systems. GRI 205 Anti-corruption requires disclosures on risk assessments, training, and confirmed incidents, strengthening accountability and trust. GRI 206 Anti-competitive behavior focuses on market integrity by reporting legal actions related to anti-competitive practices. GRI 207 Tax enhances fiscal transparency by requiring disclosures on tax strategy, governance, and country-by-country reporting, supporting SDGs on strong institutions and reduced inequalities. Slide 4. GRI 300 Series with sciences-based targets aligned with SDGs. The GRI 300 Series, Environmental Standards provides a comprehensive framework for organizations to disclose their impacts on natural resources, ecosystems, climate, and the environment across their operations and value chains. These standards enable consistent, comparable, and decision-useful reporting while supporting alignment with multiple Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, particularly those related to climate action, water security, biodiversity conservation, and responsible consumption and production. Resource consumption. The resource consumption standards focus on how organizations use materials, energy, and water. GRI 301 Materials addresses material inputs, recycled content, and circularity, supporting SDG 12 on responsible consumption. GRI 302 Energy requires disclosure of energy consumption, efficiency improvements, and renewable energy use, aligning with SDG 7 and SDG 13. GRI 303 Water and Effluents focuses on water withdrawal, consumption, discharge, and impacts in water-stressed areas, directly supporting SDG 6. Together, these standards encourage efficiency, conservation, and transition toward low-impact, circular resource use. Ecosystem impacts. GRI 304, Biodiversity, captures impacts on protected areas, high biodiversity value regions, habitat disturbance, and restoration activities. It supports SDGs 14, Life Below Water, and 15, Life on Land, by requiring organizations to identify ecosystem risks and mitigation measures. Biodiversity disclosures are increasingly critical as nature-related risks become material to business resilience and long-term value creation. Emissions and waste. GRI 305, Emissions, addresses greenhouse gas, GHG, emissions across Scope 1, Scope 2, and relevant Scope 3 categories, emissions intensity, and reduction initiatives. These disclosures are central to SDG 13, Climate Action. GRI 306, Waste, focuses on waste generation, hazardous waste handling, recycling, and disposal methods, supporting SDG 12 by promoting waste minimization and circular economy practices. Value chain environmental impacts. GRI 308, Supplier Environmental Assessment, extends environmental accountability beyond direct operations. It requires disclosure of environmental screening of suppliers, identified risks, and corrective actions, reinforcing responsible sourcing and value chain sustainability aligned with SDGs 12, 13, 14, and 15. Science-based targets aligned with SDGs. The GRI 300 series increasingly supports science-based targets, SBTs, as credible pathways for environmental performance. Climate targets, SDG 13, aligned with climate science, such as 1.5 degrees Celsius pathways, enable transparent emissions reduction trajectories. Water stewardship, SDG 6, encourages context-based water targets addressing basin-level scarcity and quality risks. Nature and biodiversity targets, SDGs 14 and 15, emphasize avoidance, minimization, restoration, and net positive outcomes, increasingly aligned with emerging global biodiversity frameworks. Slide 5, GRI 400 Series, Social Standards Overview. The GRI 400 series, Social Standards, provides a comprehensive framework for reporting how organizations manage their impacts on people, workforces, and communities. These standards address employment practices, labor rights, human rights, customer well-being, and community impacts, enabling organizations to demonstrate alignment with key Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, such as decent work, reduced inequalities, gender equality, and strong institutions. Employment and labor rights. The employment and labor rights standards focus on fair, safe, and inclusive working conditions. GRI 401, Employment, covers workforce composition, turnover, and employment benefits, supporting SDG 8 on decent work. GRI 402, Labor, Management Relations, emphasizes timely communication and consultation during operational changes. GRI 403, Occupational Health and Safety, addresses workplace injury prevention, health management systems, and worker well-being, aligning with SDG 3. GRI 404, Training and Education, captures skill development, lifelong learning, and employability, reinforcing SDG 4. Further, GRI 405, Diversity and Equal Opportunity, and GRI 406, Non-Discrimination, promote inclusive workplaces and equal treatment, supporting SDGs 5 and 10. GRI 407 to 409 address freedom of association, child labor, and forced labor, ensuring respect for fundamental labor rights across operations and supply chains. Human rights and community. The human rights and community standards extend social responsibility beyond the workforce. GRI 410, Security Practices, and GRI 411, Rights of Indigenous Peoples, focus on protecting vulnerable groups and respecting community rights. GRI 412, Human Rights Assessment, and GRI 414, Supplier Social Assessment, strengthen due diligence and value chain accountability. GRI 413, Local Communities, captures community engagement, social impact management, and development initiatives. Consumer-focused standards, such as GRI 416, Customer Health and Safety, GRI 417, Marketing and Labeling, and GRI 418, Customer Privacy, reinforce trust, transparency, and protection of stakeholder interests, aligning with SDG 16. Slide 6. Priority mappings by industry sector. Priority SDG, ESG, GRI mappings vary significantly across industry sectors due to differences in business models, risk exposure, value chains, and societal impact. Sector-specific prioritization enables organizations to focus disclosures and sustainability strategies on the most material development outcomes, strengthening relevance, credibility, and impact. Energy and utilities. The energy and utilities sector has high materiality for SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, and SDG 13, climate action, due to its central role in energy generation and emissions. Key priorities include emissions reduction, renewable energy transition, grid efficiency, and energy access. SDG 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure, is also critical, reflecting investments in resilient and low-carbon energy infrastructure. Manufacturing and industrials. Manufacturing and industrial sectors exhibit broad SDG exposure. SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, and SDG 8, Decent Work and Economic Growth, are central, driven by material use, waste generation, labor practices, and occupational safety. SDG 9 supports innovation and industrial efficiency, while SDG 13 reflects climate-related emissions and energy intensity. Financial services. Financial institutions influence SDGs primarily through capital allocation and risk management. SDG 8 and SDG 9 are material due to financing of economic activity and infrastructure. SDG 10, Reduced Inequalities, is addressed through financial inclusion and access to finance, while SDG 16, Peace, Justice and Strong Institutions, is reinforced through governance, anti-corruption, and responsible lending practices. Agriculture and food. This sector is intrinsically linked to SDG 2, Zero Hunger. SDG 6, Clean Water and Sanitation, and SDG 15, Life on Land, are highly material due to water use, soil health, biodiversity, and land management. SDG 12 is also critical, reflecting food loss, waste reduction, and sustainable sourcing. Healthcare and pharmaceuticals. Healthcare and pharmaceuticals primarily align with SDG 3, good health and well-being, through access to medicines, healthcare infrastructure, and product safety. SDG 9 supports innovation and R&D, while SDG 12 addresses responsible production, waste, and supply chain integrity. Mining and extractives. Mining and extractives face heightened materiality for SDG 8, SDG 12, and SDG 13, driven by labor intensity, resource extraction, and emissions. SDG 6 and SDG 15 are critical due to water use, land degradation, and biodiversity impacts, alongside strong community engagement and governance requirements. Sector prioritized mappings enable focused sustainability strategies aligned with material risks, opportunities, and SDG outcomes. Slide 7. Emerging regulatory frameworks and SDG alignment. Global regulatory frameworks are increasingly mandating standardized sustainability disclosures, with explicit or implicit alignment to the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, and international reporting standards such as GRI, TCFD, and ISSB. Understanding these regulatory developments enhances the strategic value of SDG-aligned reporting and strengthens corporate accountability. European Union (EU). The European Union has taken a leadership role through the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive (CSRD), which significantly expands the scope, depth, and assurance of sustainability disclosures. CSRD requires companies to report on environmental, social, and governance impacts using double materiality and standardized European Sustainability Reporting Standards (ESRS). These disclosures explicitly link corporate performance to EU Green Deal objectives and SDGs such as climate action, decent work, and biodiversity, embedding sustainability into capital market regulation. United Kingdom (UK). The UK mandates Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures (TCFD) aligned reporting across large companies and financial institutions. In addition, the UK enforces Modern Slavery Act disclosures and emerging sustainability-related requirements. While SDGs are not explicitly mandated, SDG alignment, particularly SDGs 8, 12, 13, and 16, supports compliance, risk communication, and strategic sustainability narratives for investors and regulators. United States (US). In the United States, the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) has proposed enhanced climate-related disclosures, focusing on emissions, climate risks, and governance. Although SDG reporting remains voluntary, companies increasingly align ESG disclosures with SDG frameworks to meet investor expectations, manage reputational risk, and demonstrate long-term value creation within evolving regulatory scrutiny. Asia-Pacific. The Asia-Pacific region shows rapid regulatory convergence. Singapore, Japan, and Australia have introduced mandatory or phased climate and sustainability disclosures aligned with global standards. Many jurisdictions reference GRI and ISSB frameworks, with SDG alignment supporting national development priorities such as energy transition, resilience, and inclusive growth. Overall, emerging regulatory frameworks are converging towards standardized, SDG-aligned sustainability disclosure, transforming ESG reporting from voluntary practice into a core governance requirement. Slide 8. Materiality Assessment and SDG Prioritization. Materiality assessment is the foundation of credible sustainability reporting and effective alignment with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. Not all SDGs are equally material to every organization. Therefore, a structured materiality process, aligned with frameworks such as GRI and emerging regulations, helps organizations focus on the SDGs where they have the most significant impacts, risks, and opportunities. This approach avoids superficial SDG washing and strengthens strategic relevance, accountability, and decision usefulness. Double materiality perspective. The concept of double materiality has become central to contemporary sustainability reporting. It requires organizations to assess material issues from two complementary dimensions. Impact materiality examines how an organization's activities affect the economy, environment, and people, including human rights. This perspective aligns closely with the SDGs, which are impact-oriented and focused on real-world outcomes such as climate action, social equity, and ecosystem protection. Financial materiality, on the other hand, evaluates how sustainability issues influence the organization's financial performance, position, and future value creation. Climate risks, resource scarcity, labor practices, and governance failures can all have material financial implications. Together, these dimensions ensure that SDG prioritization reflects both societal impact and business relevance, strengthening credibility with regulators, investors, and other stakeholders. SDG prioritization process. A robust SDG prioritization process typically follows a structured sequence. First, organizations identify potential SDG linkages across their operations and value chains using comprehensive SDG, GRI or SDG, ESG mapping matrices. Second, they assess impact significance, considering scale, scope, severity, and likelihood of impacts on SDG targets. Third, stakeholder perspectives are incorporated through consultations with employees, communities, customers, investors, and civil society. The fourth step involves analyzing financial risks and opportunities associated with SDG-related issues, integrating sustainability into enterprise risk management. Based on these insights, organizations prioritize a focused set of SDGs where impacts and dependencies are most significant. Finally, they establish SDG-aligned targets, KPIs, and disclosures, ensuring transparent reporting and continuous performance monitoring. Slide 9. Common reporting challenges and solutions. As organizations increasingly align sustainability disclosures with the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, several recurring reporting challenges emerge. Addressing these challenges systematically is essential to enhance reporting quality, credibility, and strategic value. SDG washing. SDG washing occurs when organizations claim alignment with a broad range of SDGs without demonstrating meaningful contributions. Superficial mapping, such as referencing all 17 SDGs without clear linkages, undermines credibility. The solution lies in robust materiality assessment to prioritize a limited number of SDGs where impacts are most significant. Establishing SDG-specific targets, KPIs, and outcome-based disclosures ensures that claims are evidence-driven rather than aspirational. Data availability. Limited or inconsistent data remains a major barrier, particularly for Scope 3 emissions, supply chain impacts, and social indicators. Fragmented systems and reliance on third-party data reduce accuracy and comparability. Organizations can address this by strengthening internal data governance, deploying digital ESG data platforms, and progressively engaging suppliers through standardized data requests, audits, and capacity-building initiatives. Attribution complexity. SDG outcomes often result from collective action, making it difficult to attribute impacts to a single organization. Attempting to claim direct causality can lead to overstatement or misrepresentation. Best practice is to adopt a contribution-based approach, supported by a clear theory of change, transparent assumptions, and partnerships. Reporting should distinguish between inputs, outputs, and outcomes, and clearly explain the organization's role within broader systems. Trade-offs between SDGs. Actions supporting one SDG may negatively affect another, for example, industrial growth impacting biodiversity or water resources. Ignoring such trade-offs weakens reporting integrity. Organizations should explicitly identify, assess, and disclose trade-offs, integrate them into risk management, and explain mitigation strategies. Balanced reporting that acknowledges both positive and negative impacts enhances trust. Stakeholder skepticism. Growing skepticism arises when reported commitments do not align with observed practices. To address this, organizations should prioritize transparent, consistent, and assured disclosures, demonstrate year-on-year progress, and openly communicate challenges alongside achievements. In conclusion, by addressing these challenges through prioritization, data strengthening, transparency, and outcome-focused reporting, organizations can move from symbolic SDG alignment to credible, decision-useful sustainability reporting. Slide 10. Assurance and verification of SDG reporting. As sustainability and SDG-aligned reporting becomes increasingly central to corporate accountability, independent assurance and verification play a critical role in enhancing credibility, reliability, and stakeholder trust. With rising regulatory scrutiny and investor expectations, third-party assurance of ESG and SDG disclosures is moving from best practice to an essential governance mechanism. 1. Limited versus reasonable assurance. Limited assurance provides a moderate level of confidence that reported sustainability information is free from material misstatement. It is typically based on inquiry, analytical procedures, and selective testing, and is widely adopted for first-time assurance engagements. Limited assurance is cost-effective and suitable where data systems are still maturing, offering stakeholders comfort over the plausibility of SDG-linked disclosures. Reasonable assurance, by contrast, delivers a higher level of confidence through more extensive testing, controls assessment, and evidence gathering. Comparable to financial audit rigor, it significantly reduces assurance risk and is increasingly expected for high-risk or high-impact disclosures, such as greenhouse gas emissions, climate targets, and material social indicators. As SDG reporting matures, organizations often adopt a phased approach, moving from limited to reasonable assurance over time. 2. Assurance standards. SDG reporting assurance is commonly conducted under internationally recognized frameworks. ISAE 3000, revised, is widely used for assurance of non-financial information, while ISAE 3410 specifically addresses greenhouse gas emissions. A1000 focuses on accountability principles, inclusivity, materiality, and responsiveness, making it particularly relevant for SDG and stakeholder-focused reporting. These standards ensure consistency, transparency, and comparability across assurance engagements. 3. Scope considerations. Determining the scope of assurance is a strategic decision. Organizations may initially assure priority SDGs, material ESG indicators, or selected GRI disclosures, particularly those with higher risk or stakeholder interest. Scope often expands progressively to include value chain data, Scope 3 emissions, and social indicators as systems and data quality improve. 4. Value beyond compliance. Beyond regulatory compliance, assurance delivers strategic value. It strengthens internal controls, improves data quality, enhances board oversight, and builds stakeholder confidence. Credible, assured SDG reporting also supports access to sustainable finance, reduces greenwashing risk, and reinforces long-term reputational and competitive advantage. Slide 11. Sustainability-linked finance and SDG reporting. Sustainability-linked finance is increasingly reshaping capital markets by integrating environmental, social, and governance (ESG) performance into lending, investment, and insurance decisions. SDG-aligned reporting plays a critical role in this transition by providing standardized, credible metrics that link corporate performance with sustainability-linked financial instruments. Sustainability-linked loans and bonds. Sustainability-linked loans and bonds tie financial terms, such as interest rates or coupon adjustments, to the achievement of predefined sustainability performance targets, SPTs. These targets are typically aligned with measurable ESG indicators, including emissions intensity reduction, renewable energy adoption, diversity targets, or water efficiency. SDG-linked disclosures, particularly under GRI Standards, enable transparent monitoring of progress against SPTs, reinforcing credibility and reducing the risk of greenwashing. Common linkages include climate action, SDG 13, clean energy, SDG 7, gender equality, SDG 5, and water stewardship, SDG 6. Green and social bonds. They are use of proceeds instruments that finance projects delivering environmental or social benefits. Green bonds typically support renewable energy, energy efficiency, sustainable transport, and climate adaptation, aligning with SDGs 7, 9, 11, and 13. Social bonds finance initiatives such as affordable housing, healthcare, education, and financial inclusion, supporting SDGs 1, 3, 4, and 10. SDG-aligned reporting, supported by GRI Matrix, strengthens transparency on allocation, impact measurement, and post-issuance reporting. ESG integration in investment decisions. Investors increasingly integrate ESG and SDG performance into capital allocation, portfolio construction, and stewardship. Asset managers use SDG-aligned indicators to assess risk exposure, long-term resilience, and impact contribution. Consistent SDG reporting improves comparability across issuers and supports engagement, voting, and sustainable investment strategies. Climate risk disclosure. It is aligned with frameworks such as TCFD and ISSB, directly influences credit ratings, insurance premiums, and cost of capital. Disclosures on emissions, transition risks, and physical climate risks, linked to SDG 13, enable lenders and investors to price climate risk more accurately and reward credible transition strategies. Slide 12. Best practices in SDG GRI reporting. High-quality SDG, GRI reporting moves beyond symbolic alignment to deliver credible, decision-useful disclosures that demonstrate real-world impact. Leading organizations adopt a set of best practices that integrate strategy, data, governance, and assurance to strengthen transparency and stakeholder trust. 1. Materiality-driven prioritization. Effective SDG, GRI reporting begins with rigorous materiality assessment. Organizations should prioritize a focused set of SDGs based on impact significance and financial relevance, rather than referencing all 17 goals. Using the GRI materiality process ensures disclosures reflect genuine impacts on people and the environment, avoiding SDG washing and aligning resources with areas of highest contribution. 2. Quantified targets and progress tracking. Best practice reporting translates commitments into quantified, time-bound targets aligned with SDG outcomes. Targets should be supported by clear baselines and KPIs, enabling year-on-year progress tracking. Quantitative disclosure, such as emissions reduction trajectories, water efficiency improvements, or workforce diversity metrics, enhances comparability and credibility, particularly for investors and regulators. 3. Integrated narrative and data. Leading reporters combine qualitative narrative with quantitative data to explain how and why organizational activities contribute to SDG outcomes. This integrated approach links strategy, governance, risk management, and performance, providing context for data and demonstrating alignment between business objectives and sustainable development priorities. 4. Comprehensive boundary setting. Robust SDG, GRI reporting clearly defines organizational and value chain boundaries. Best practice includes disclosure of Scope 1, 2, and relevant Scope 3 impacts, as well as upstream and downstream effects across products and services. Transparent boundary setting strengthens accountability and reflects the reality that many SDG impacts occur beyond direct operations. 5. Independent assurance. Independent assurance is a critical credibility enhancer. Obtaining third-party assurance over material GRI disclosures increases confidence in SDG claims, improves internal controls, and reduces greenwashing risk. Progressive organizations expand assurance scope over time, moving from limited to reasonable assurance as data maturity improves. Slide 13. Conclusion. Strategic value of SDG GRI integration. The integration of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, with the GRI standards represents far more than a technical reporting exercise. It constitutes a strategic framework for embedding sustainability into core business decision-making. The SDG, GRI Mapping Matrix enables organizations to translate global development priorities into structured, measurable, and verifiable disclosures, strengthening the link between corporate performance and societal outcomes. Strategically, SDG, GRI integration helps organizations align sustainability priorities with business strategy and value creation. By identifying material SDGs through the GRI materiality process, companies can focus resources on issues that matter most, both in terms of real-world impact and financial relevance. This alignment supports long-term resilience by integrating sustainability considerations into governance, risk management, innovation, and capital allocation. From a credibility perspective, SDG, GRI integration enhances stakeholder trust and transparency. Standardized GRI disclosures provide consistency and comparability, enabling investors, regulators, and civil society to assess progress objectively. When SDG commitments are supported by robust data, KPIs, and independent assurance, organizations reduce the risk of greenwashing and demonstrate accountability for their claims. Operationally, integrated reporting drives efficiency and performance improvement. Mapping SDGs to GRI indicators helps identify operational inefficiencies, risk exposure, and opportunity areas, such as energy transition, inclusive employment, or circular resource use, supporting continuous improvement and innovation. Importantly, SDG, GRI integration also strengthens regulatory readiness and compliance. As sustainability disclosure requirements expand globally, alignment with internationally recognized standards positions organizations to respond effectively to emerging regulations while maintaining coherence across multiple reporting frameworks. Ultimately, SDG, GRI integration enables organizations to clearly articulate their contribution to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, demonstrating how business can be a catalyst for inclusive growth, environmental stewardship, and strong institutions. By combining strategic intent, credible data, and transparent communication, SDG, GRI integration transforms sustainability reporting into a powerful tool for long-term value creation and sustainable development. Slide 14. Implementation Roadmap for Organizations. Implementing SDG-aligned sustainability reporting requires a structured, phased roadmap that builds governance capacity, embeds materiality, and enables continuous improvement. A well-defined implementation pathway helps organizations move from intent to credible, outcome-oriented disclosure while strengthening strategic decision-making. Foundation, months 1 to 3. The initial phase focuses on establishing strong governance and baseline understanding. Organizations should define sustainability governance structures, assign board and management oversight, and conduct gap analyses against existing ESG, GRI mapping and engagement help identify expectations and data availability, while internal awareness building ensures organizational alignment. Assessment, months 4 to 6. This phase centers on materiality assessment. Organizations evaluate actual and potential impacts across operations and value chains, integrating stakeholder input and financial risk analysis. Using SDG, GRI mapping matrices, companies identify priority SDGs and material topics, ensuring focus on issues with the greatest impact and relevance. Baseline data collection and validation are critical at this stage. Target setting, months 7 to 9. Once priorities are defined, organizations establish clear, time-bound targets and KPIs aligned with SDG outcomes and GRI indicators. Targets may include emissions reduction pathways, water stewardship goals, diversity benchmarks, or supply chain improvements. Where applicable, targets should be aligned with science-based or context-based methodologies to enhance credibility. Implementation, months 10 to 12. The implementation phase embeds targets into business processes. This includes integrating sustainability objectives into operations, procurement, risk management, and performance management systems. Data collection systems are strengthened, responsibilities assigned, and internal controls established. Organizations begin structured SDG, GRI reporting and enhance stakeholder communication. Continuous improvement, year 2 onward. Beyond the first reporting cycle, organizations focus on refinement and scale. This includes expanding data coverage to value chains, enhancing data quality, adopting digital reporting tools, and progressively obtaining independent assurance. Regular reviews, benchmarking, and stakeholder feedback support continuous improvement and long-term value creation. Slide 15. Future developments in SDG GRI alignment. The landscape of sustainability reporting is evolving rapidly, and the alignment between the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) and GRI standards is expected to deepen significantly in the coming years. Future developments will transform SDG/GRI alignment from a reporting framework into a strategic decision support system for organizations. A key development is the continued evolution of GRI standards. GRI is progressively strengthening guidance on impact-based reporting, sector-specific standards, and explicit SDG linkages. This will enable organizations to better connect material topics with SDG targets and communicate sector-relevant contributions with greater clarity and consistency. Another major trend is convergence with other global frameworks. Alignment between GRI, ISSB, ESRS, under CSRD, and other international standards is reducing fragmentation in sustainability reporting. This convergence will simplify reporting architectures, improve comparability across markets, and enable organizations to address both impact materiality and financial materiality within a single, coherent system, strengthening SDG-aligned disclosures. Technology integration will play a transformative role. The use of digital ESG platforms, artificial intelligence, and advanced analytics will enable real-time data capture, automated SDG mapping, and enhanced comparability. AI-driven tools are expected to support materiality assessments, scenario analysis, and impact measurement, improving the reliability and scalability of SDG/GRI reporting. Regulatory expectations are also expanding. Mandatory sustainability and SDG-linked disclosures are becoming more common across jurisdictions, moving beyond climate to include biodiversity, human rights, and governance. This will increase the importance of robust SDG/GRI alignment as a foundation for regulatory compliance and risk management. Finally, future SDG/GRI alignment will place greater emphasis on impact measurement and outcomes. Organizations will be expected to report not only positive contributions but also negative impacts and trade-offs, supported by clear theories of change and credible metrics. This shift will enhance transparency, reduce SDG washing, and reinforce accountability. Here we mark the end of this session and close the discussion. We summarized this topic as how the GRI standards underpin effective mapping of corporate sustainability disclosures to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). Next week we take SDG/GRI Standards Mapping Matrix. Part 2. Under the current topic, it positions the SDG/GRI Mapping Matrix as a strategic tool that transforms global development ambitions into credible, standardized, and impact-oriented reporting. It serves as a strategic tool for corporate reporters, investors, and sustainability professionals seeking to align their ESG disclosure practices with global development objectives. We encourage you to remain actively engaged with our platform, participate in upcoming sessions, and share these insights with peers who are equally committed to advancing sustainable development and responsible enterprise. We wish you continued success, enduring inspiration, and steadfast resilience as you contribute to building a sustainable, inclusive, and prosperous future.